Hi everyone, it's Kathleen. We are here today for a final flip through of our November Edith Holden Traveler's Notebook. Let's have a look at the cover, which is made from 2 graphic 45 policy envelopes that have been covered with velour lace. We have an attached fabric wrap. Let's open this up. And on my spine, I have put unbleached cotton, beautiful fabric tie that is made with the same unbleached cotton, some different layers of fabrics that are off-white and have gold in them to match the velour lace. We are using a very heavy winter white twine and a scrappy snippet along the spine with some hand stitching to hold the layers together. Of course, my lovely Battenberg lace. Just love it. So let's place the journal like this, and we're going to open up the journal, and this is a look at the first policy envelope. Very heavy cardstock that these envelopes are made from. I have left the envelope empty. I'm trying to make the journals a little flatter because with all the layers that I have, they are very, very lumpy. Lumpy, bumpy. Beautiful unbleached cotton. Old book pages, hand sewn to the front cover. We start off with the printables. The printables that we're going to be using, or that I have used in the November journals, are of course Junk With Steph, Eclectic Ephemera, and from Shar Fisher, who is Ida Jane Designs, I've used her Vintage Pink Collage kit. So the front and the back are the same, and this one opens up as well. And I've left the perforations for the coil bound, it was a coil bound journal that I opened and took apart. I left that there because I like it. And the fabric spine is glued and sewed on. So this journal has 2 signatures. The first signature is a fully embellished journal, and the second signature is a folio made out of 2 Edith Holden book pages with some journaling art cards, art tags, what have you in the back. So let's have a look inside. First page is made with the envelope, made with an envelope that has been lined and covered. Fabric spine on the second page, Edith Holden book page, double stitched along the edge with a lace little snippet, but we've made a collage in the back with fabric, vintage book page, and a printable. Next page is a fabric hinge. All my fabric hinges are double stitched with the sewing machine, and this is a piece of Battenberg. I love Battenberg. The next page is part of an Edith Holden index, and I've used the Louise Henkel Fast Flow Stitching Circle with a scrappy snippet of mine. I love the sewing marks on the back. Next page is a printable that I've actually attached a couple pieces of paper to create this page. The first is a printable that has some collage from the Eclectic Ephemera kit and piano music paper, tape along the edge, and next page, I make multi-layered pages. I start off and I attach different things and pieces of paper to my pages as I create them. So this one started with a vintage German book page, a printable, coffee dyed paper, and part of the Eclectic Ephemera. There is coffee dyed paper on this side, which you'll see on the back half of the page. Edith Holden book page that is double stitched all the way around. I love this Martha Stewart corner punch and edge punch. It looks like eyelet to me. Next page is a fabric hinge, a printable to create a page, and some of the ephemera. I've added a touch of lace along the bottom because I like different things and stuff sticking out. This next page is a layered page. I've layered part of the ephemera on top of a coffee dyed piece of paper that has been folded, accordion folded back and forth on itself, attached an ephemera bit, and double stitched. The next page is an Edith Holden book page with part of the printable, double stitched all the way around, and a scrappy snippet sewn along the edge. My map pages I like to include. This one has that gold velour lace, and we have 3 different layers of papers attached to the page with a collage. I've used some of Steph's Specimen Labels volumes 1 and 4 in this journal as well. And I've used various mixed media papers. This one here is collage. I like the perforated bits from the coil notebook, and I left them in. Edith Holden book page, and I love doing straddles on the side of the page, tops of the page, and bottoms of the page. This one is a fabric straddle, 2 different layers of fabrics over the page with a silk hydrangea, cheesecloth, and some tatting. Another page that has been layered with ephemera, coffee dyed papers with that accordion fold back and forth, and some of the ephemera. Edith Holden book page with pieces of the ephemera and the specimen labels along the side. Next page is a layered piece that starts off with a fairly new ledger page because it's fairly white. I've folded it up to create a little pocket or a tuck, and I've sewn and glued some vellum that has little gold dots, layered the printable across the spine from one page to the next, and attached a fabric hinge. And inside this little pouch, I've made a tag. The tag is created with cardstock and covered with the printables, labels, paintable wallpaper, double stitched all the way around, and a beautiful scrappy snippet. Edith Holden book page, and I have straddled some printables and a paper doily. This time I have stitched it together, and you can still take it out of your book, journal on it, draw, paint, whatever your heart desires, and placing it back, straddling the page, and I attach it with a paper clip. I love how it decorates both sides of the page when you do that. I have a coffee dyed piece of paper, and I've straddled my 4-tape collage. 4-tape collage consists of craft packing tape, very sticky. This white mesh is drywall tape, masking tape, and washi tape. I stagger the ends, they're torn. I wrap it around the page, and it goes to the next page as well. Straddled a piece of ephemera and double stitched for decoration because I like to stitch. Printable. I hear my husband talking in the background. He's in the basement, and boy, he seems to talk quite loudly. I apologize in advance for him. And okay, this page here, this is our center page. It's made with a short page of writing from the Edith Holden journal, and I have attached an equal page but staggered it over to extend my page of the printable. Craft paper, part of a collage with the specimen label. Beautiful scrappy snippets. I love doing ivories, off-whites, and whites and creams in my snippets, and I stitch it on. This is the back half of the coffee dyed paper. It's quite fragile because it's old, so I have reinforced it with masking tape. I've attached some of my score-backed tissue wrap when I make tape. And this is the back half of the 4-tape collage. So this is a snippet that not a snippet, this is a straddle piece of paper that I like how it's folded on an angle. It starts off with an ephemera piece, this light mint color, and a little strip of paper that was left over from a length of coffee dyed paper. It's double stitched on. I folded the paper so it's irregular, just to the side, and attached some lace and some of that gold velvet lace or velour lace, and attached it with a paper clip to decorate both sides of the page. This is an Edith Holden book page. I've attached a flap by creating, I've created a flap by attaching ephemera that is taped on with masking tape, and I have layered part of the vintage pink printable on the back. This is the back half of the ledger page, and the ledger page on this side, it did have that fold up with the vellum along the top of the pocket to give it more strength, but I've also made my own little envelope with craft paper, and the craft papers is very heavy, and with the gold dots as well to match these gold dots. This is part of the Eclectic Ephemera, and there's a part when you print it, there's a front and a back, and I've sewn them together, and I'm going to tuck that in here. I've made 2 tags. This first one is a piece of cardstock. They're both made more or less the same way. It started off with cream colored cardstock, and I have straddled the printable and straddled a piano page, straddled a label, and I keep straddling stuff. I keep going over the edges. To me, it really does it. Paintable wallpaper, double stitched all the way around. This is made from a piece of cardstock. I have a printable label. It's almost like a tag library card, so I glued that on the back. I had this old printable I was looking through a printable accordion envelope of mine, and I pulled some out for this journal and for the December journals. So this is a mushroom cabinet card, blank label, part of that pink printable, and my safety pin tag toppers with love these little lace trims, and this gets tucked inside here. The back half of that printable attached, and it's actually sewn. There's a fabric hinge, a printable, and the ledger paper that is sewn together to create a page. Then we have an Edith Holden book page where the collage comes across the spine. Scrappy snippet sewed onto the page, and coffee dyed paper folded back because the page is too long, so I didn't want to cut it off. It makes your page a little bit sturdier too with the 2 and the 3 layers when you fold it in and then fold it out again, and I double stitched. This Eclectic Ephemera bit was sewn to this coffee dyed paper. Piece of an Edith Holden book page, double stitched all the way around. This is very heavy watercolor paper, and I made a flap and attached part of the pink printable on here. 4-tape collage carrying over the page. So I'm actually attaching 2 pieces of paper to create a page, which is actually 4 and 4 is 8 different pages when they're, if you count each side. Love these ephemera bits. Back of the map page. Edith Holden book page with a printable glued and stitched all the way around. And you'll notice I alternate my pages throughout the journal. It just gives it visual interest. Coffee dyed paper, that accordion fold, and a ticket stitched on. And I've stitched on an ephemera bit as well to the page, to the center. Then this is a page I attached a hinge, a fabric hinge, coffee dyed paper, book page, made a fabric flip with lace and little bits that I've used in my snippets throughout, sewed along the top, and sewn it to the fabric hinge. Back half of the Edith Holden book page with that cute little Martha Stewart corner punch, double stitched all the way around with a scrappy snippet. This page is an extension page made with that book, German book page, layered with coffee dyed paper on an angle, double stitched all the way around. On this side, I have glued craft paper from a paper bag, white paper doily, and I've collaged a specimen label on here. This is the start of the page that I created, where it is a printable, and the printable is the full length. If it starts here, the printable extends, and then I fold it over the excess and I've sewn it on, and to cover up the blank paper, I've attached piano paper. Straddling 3 pieces of fabric on top of an Edith Holden index page. And this is a piece of watercolor paper that is double stitched onto some fabric hinge. Another fabric hinge with very heavy watercolor paper. 3 tape collage attaching. This is a separate piece of paper that is taped on to create the flap. I taped it on the underside and I've taped it on the front, collaging over the side, straddling. And this is this the back half of the envelope? What is this? Yes, it is. This is the back part of the envelope. I didn't want to tuck anything in here. I just lined the envelope, and it just gives visual interest here. It can be a writing space, but that's the first page of our journal, the back page that extends, and the back flap of the envelope. And I have used washi. Well, actually, I've taped a piece, an extension flap created with cardstock that has been on one side glued with the sheet music. The printable straddling over the top. I just love that little bar when it comes over the top. I think it provides such beautiful visual interest. And when you have one pattern carrying over to the other side of the page, your journal flows. I've attached this piece of paper, the flap, to the envelope with masking tape, and then I've added some washi tape. And whenever I use washi tape, I always use a Yoo-hoo glue stick underneath, because in my experience, my washi tape comes off if I don't. Maybe it's just the stuff that I buy. And this, that's the printable. This is the back side of the envelope. It's lined with an old book page and a printable, and creating a pocket with a scrappy snippet strip. So that is the first signature, which is a totally embellished journal. And the second signature is what I call a folio, short of, I'm not sure what else to call it. It's made with, let's open it up, 2 Edith Holden book pages. Let's take these out. So it's made with 2 Edith Holden book pages that are sewn together. And I've maybe, I'm going to guess, say 4 or 4¼ inches, and then I folded it to make a flap. I've attached a belly band made out of a file folder, and it's a nice tuck for these. I'm going to call these art cards in the back for people to paint, draw, use all sorts of different mediums on the back to create your own art cards. And on the front, there is, they're all varied eclectic ephemera images from Junk With Steph. And I have a scrappy tag topper that is stitched on the top, so you just have a little stitching line. So you can do whatever you want to these. They're heavy enough. You can paint, gesso, do a lot of different things. So that's the first tuck. And I've made a pocket with a part of a luncheon napkin that is cross-stitched. And this is another art tag, art card. I've made a little tuck on the bottom of this Edith Holden book page by using a tiny bag that is folded up, so there's more paper at the bottom, and I've straddled 1, 2, 3 layers of fabric along the bottom, and I've stitched. And inside the envelope, I'm going to tuck this manila tag for you to create art on. I'm going to stick it in here, attach just fabric at the top, and another art card. And look at that beautiful printable. Just gorgeous. Tuck that in here. And the flap is a book page. And I've attached an envelope, a window envelope. This is from a junk mail, a reply envelope. It's part of an envelope. The envelope is longer, so I tore it off and I glued the envelope flap onto this book page flap. Then I attached my 4-tape collage, glued on this scrapbook paper, old scrapbook paper, and an ephemera piece. And I left it open like this, easier to insert the tags. And I've collaged the front of the pocket. And this is another art card with a beautiful printable. Just love those eclectic ephemera bits. And this one, a little bit. This is the largest card, I think. And I'm going to tuck it in behind. So when it's folded, you see all these beautiful little scrappy bits. And you turn over the folio page. And it's the same thing. That fabric straddle adds decoration to the bottom of the page. I have a little belly band that is edge punched. And it's an old, I love that color, an old file folder. Just love that color. And an art card as well. Beautiful eclectic ephemera. Tuck that in here. Fabric hinge. And there we have it. This feels so nice because it's a cotton lace. And you have this heavy unbleached cotton. Thank you, Lisa. It was pre-folded when you sent it to me. I didn't even have to do anything except cut it. It's so awesome. And tie this up. And there we have it. Our November Edith Holden journal. Look at the spine. I just think it's so cute when you see these things. It's so pretty. I created 4 November journals. All 4 are spoken for, and I'm going to create December. I'm making 6 December journals, and all of those are spoken for as well. So I'm off to create December journals, but I'll be back shortly after I upload this journal because I have an unboxing to do. Talk to you soon. Thank you everyone for watching. And I'll be uploading these in my Etsy shop for the 3 ladies that have reserved those. Thank you everyone for watching. Bye for now.